Let's go. Welcome to the show. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with me. Cause it's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. Let's get the topic straight. Let's get things good. Let's do everything that we should. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. Let's open our minds and take out our style. Let's see what's going on in the world tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. Alrighty guys, what's going on? It's your boy Tig of Project Open Mic. I'm glad to be back here once again. This is Thursday, you know what time it is. Let's look around and see what's going on in the world. Let's have a good show tonight, as the song always goes with it. But hey, it is what it is. I put my lovely mug on the screen right here. How you guys doing? Hope y'all having a good night. This is Thursday again, and I'm happy to be here once again to show you guys what's going on in the world today. Some of it's crazy as usual, but hey, hope you guys having a good night for real. Hope that today was a good day for you. And again, shout outs to people who are joining from Facebook to YouTube to Tempo FM. So I want to give a shout out to Tempo FM for they have been picking up the viewership. And again, I'm asking, can you guys look, if you like what you see or hear what we're doing, I'm trying to get Project Open Mic to be on Spotify, Pandora, Apple as well, and I need how should I say? I need subscribership with YouTube to show that I have the listenership. So if you guys are on Tempo FM, thank you again. We've been picking up on Tempo FM through the old region from since Tempo FM is where we had the Radio T3, which I did a show from 2012 until 2015, and we hope that you guys could go to not Facebook, YouTube, like you see it down right at the bottom right there. YouTube, Project Open Mic, and subscribe. I'm not asking for no money, no funds, just subscribe, share, comment, show the interaction. That's about all I'm asking for. And again, if you missed any of the previous show and you're new to Project Open Mic, you can always go and check up the back play of Project Open Mic of previous topics and videos that we've talked about. Down there, again, YouTube, you can check it out. There's a playlist where you have the Project Open Mic show. And then you have also Andre's Corner. He's another fellow person part of Project Open Mic who talks about situations, topics. Not you have to be political in most cases. Mostly just talking about family, life, and everything. And I will be starting doing the same thing too on Project Open Mic as well. But you have that. I also have this side chat with me and Trip where we talk about we give a specialized talk about random stuff where we give a specialized view on certain topics and we talk about it. And that show has been really one of the best on Tempo FM. Thank you again for the people. For those who don't know, like I said, in 2012 to 2015, there's called Tempo FM in Europe, where I did a radio show to broadcast the 10th anniversary of T3 Records with an album, which you go to Amazon.com or Spotify or any place else. It's called Instant Classic. which Shuffle Alliance, which is a group that's by me that I produced the music. We got people to rap on it and sing on it, and it was a very good album, and it sold very very well. And we wanted to play music of that, so they gave me a show. And with Radio T3, we were doing music of indie artists and stuff. And I did a couple commentary about certain topics in the world, and it got a lot of views, a lot of live listeners, I should say. Sorry, I've used radio, live listeners. And with that, we have gotten, I think the highest peak we have of live listeners we had was 4.3 or 4.4 million. I can't remember, but 4.4 million live listeners was listening to what I was saying, which was impressive. I never thought I would get those numbers, but again, but after 2015, because of personal issues of with family and everything, because a person of mine had cancer and passed away, and stuff had happened. The show had came to an end. But thank you to my friend Cox, who gave me an opportunity. Julian Cox gave me an opportunity. I could use the Tempo FM stuff that's in Europe to broadcast this show that you're seeing right now. So again, thank you for giving me the chance to do that. And shout out to all my people in Europe who are listening live right now, even on Facebook and YouTube. So we're gonna see more we can get. The whole project was supposed to be a live radio show like how Radio T3 was, but because of the pandemic and a couple of contracts fell through, I have to do it this way. So that's why I'm asking you guys. Hey, again, you don't have to donate or nothing. Just go to Project Open Mic on YouTube, and of course, share, comment, subscribe. Just that. That's all I'm asking for. So with tonight's episode, it's gonna be a doozy. But hey, I gotta talk about some of the things that we need to be talking about. So what are we gonna be talking about? Tonight's episode is wisdom is a rare item. Basically, it's a rare commodity because a lot of people right now in the age we have these things we call phones, cell phones, and we could search for a lot of things, but we don't. Shout outs to a fellow person named his name is Terrence Pops, and he was like, "In the age we are right now, this is a quote. In the age we are right now, ignorance is a choice. People say you speak ignorant bliss and everything. No, it's a choice, and you choose to be that. If I don't know something, to the best of my knowledge, I will try to search for it. I have a video on the channel talking about that I'm ignorant, and I'm in ignorance in the way that I am willing to learn about stuff. I am not gonna be all encompassing. I'm not gonna have all seeing eye wisdom, see everything. There are people out there who knows way more stuff than me, and will always know way more stuff than me. But vice versa goes the same thing as well too because of age. But they say knowledge is power, correct? And wisdom, and this is me saying this. This is one of my quotes. Knowledge is power, but wisdom is empowerment. That's how you break away from this. We call it, since they're saying I'm a black person, I shouldn't do this and that and that. I'm like, well, I started my own music company. I started my own radio show. I started everything I started. You know what? I learned some things are great, some things are good, some things are bad, but I learned and experienced the wisdom. Then I turn it into something to make it positive. Because said this to a lot of people. It's weird that I came from a different country, came here. Yes, I had challenges. I have challenges coming to America, but for some reason I made it to what it is now. I am not obtaining the American dream. I'll be 100% honest with anybody. The American dream. I have obtained a lot of dreams that a lot of people have. Shout outs to my boy Jay. I used to say he had a wife and kids and everything. He had the house, the cars, and all the stuff. That's when we were younger. That's back in 2007. I already had the house, the cars, and all the stuff. But the problem was that I didn't have a wife or kids, which is that's the part I would make it be if I make me feel the American dream in a way. But not there yet. Hopefully, sometime I will get there. So, all right. So we're gonna get through some of the stuff that we're talking today. First of all, I want to give a shout out and another shout out to a couple friends of mine. One is I am not gonna call her name, but I am gonna tell her story about show you about the story because of what. So I hope you guys stay along for that. But in that regard, I also want to let me see. Like I said, wisdom. So we're gonna like I said, yeah, let's talk about some of the stuff. But also, I want to send out my well wishes to people, of course, who are dealing with the storm. Laura came. It was a Category 4 that hit Louisiana's coast. I hope everybody's safe. It's again, it's part of life. But I hope everybody, there's gonna be loss of life. The one thing I will teach people is yes, it's I could one of my teachings from my grandmother, which is everybody's heard this: hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and that's something that I hope a lot of people did, but there are a lot of people who will lose their life in this. But I just hope that people stay safe during the storm. If you're in a flood area, please be careful. Please, I hope you're moved. I've showed videos on this channel before about certain things, so you go there. So we'll see how that work out. It's my heart got off anybody who have lost people through that storm. And we're not through it yet for the people in the Caribbean right now. Everything's quiet, but September's coming up right around the corner. That's a dangerous year, dangerous month. Hopefully, knock on wood. Hopefully, this is that's the worst of the year. I hope, but let's pray and get peace. Be prepared. Um, Also, I'm gonna keep on promoting this whenever I get it up, but I'm gonna be doing a channel on YouTube called T3 Life, where I do reviews of certain tech stuff, technology, and like I said, cooking videos and stuff like that. I have gotten certain and so phones and everything. I'll be doing that. So of course I'll put a little link to that when that channel is up, so you guys could, if you want to learn about certain tech stuff and cooking video. I love to cook. So if you go to my my Facebook, I just show cooking videos, but I like to cook. I cook home. I do homemade meals a lot. So that it'll be separated into many things, and maybe also a music channel redone, because I have a music channel, but since again, just like I was saying before, it got died down a little bit. I'm gonna do another one where you could do mixes for people who are busy at work. You want to listen to there's something called chill hop, lo-fi, whatever music you can relax while you're working, studying, doing stuff, and new music from T3 as well, from T3 Records as well. Okay. All right. Now, last year, not sorry, last year, last week, we had the DNC, and right this week we have the RNC. I was gonna do a review of it, but I'm not gonna do that. I'll see maybe next week. Next week. I've seen some stuff that's just rare to talk about, but I'm not gonna go there. But I do want to talk about a myriad of of stuff that goes to what I said. Now, I've said this before, that you heard me say this as my saying: people are stupid, individuals are smart. And when I say that, I learned that I am 37. I learned that when I was 20 years old, and I saw things and I was like, wow, human beings, I don't get it. But a lot of people do not have any, how should I put this? The reason I say wisdom, like I said, because of simple sense. I call it simple sense because we used to call it common sense. The reason I don't call it common sense is because common means that everybody knows this is commonly around, but it's not around no more. It's simple sense, and that's why it's the breakdown of certain things. So I am not a fan. I'm just saying, I am not a fan of the government. I don't care Republican or Democrat. I'm not a fan of them. I'm a libertarian by registration. I will vote by what it is. And just to give you a help, I do not tell you vote who you want to vote. I don't never tell people who to vote for. Unlike most human beings, I can, unlike other people, if somebody voted for something that as for a person that I didn't like, I'm not gonna get upset with them. That's your choice. That's what you did. I voted for something different. That's what I did. But we should not throw a family or years of friendship because I voted for something. That to me is idiotic. But that's what we are having now. People are like, "Oh, you voted for this person. You voted for that person. Oh my God, whatever." Now, I would say because I've come and realized, and I said this. One of my sayings is also, "There's nothing more I hate than a Republican than a Democrat." I hate Republican, I hate Democrat, but I hate them more because of what they have done, and I'm going to give you evidence of that more too. Oh, a couple of stuff the Republicans done as well too, but the thing that I'm gonna show you tonight is the reason why I don't like government, because there's a bunch of people who do stupid things and cause lives and cause nonsense. And we're getting to the point where a lot of people have been indoctrinating our young kids. I've done videos about that. We fail our kids. I did 3 parts about that. You could go check it out on YouTube, Project Open Mic. But these kids have been, now we're not teaching the self-efficient, self-reliance. So now these kids now are dependent on everybody else to do everything for them. And 2020 has been a crazy year. We have, race uneven race riots, pandemic, everything like that. I mean, solar flare goes off, take away power. I feel for those people, because then you won't have power and things will get more crazy than it is. For me, I have solar power. I have solar power in my house, but not everybody's that lucky or not as fortunate. So I feel for that. So, ah, so first, let's get this out of the way. And I apologize if people don't feel that I feel this. I'll state this up front. Black Lives Matter. Black lives do matter. That is sentiment. I have no problem with Black Lives Matter. Unlike most people too, I have no problem with the sentiment all lives matter. You know another thing too? I also have a sentiment that no lives matter. Why? Because again, you come to a certain person's house or you're trying to protect themselves, you ain't worth nothing. Let's just be honest about that. But I'm cool with the sentiment. The problem is I am not cool with the organization because of what they represent. And as I stated before, when I said we fail our kids, this organization has hijacked the movement. And I knew it was going to hijack the movement, but it hijacked the movement to do bad things, really bad things. And these are mostly young, intention, basically malleable minds that are doing the most violent and despicable acts right now. I am happy that the guy who kicked that guy in the head and knocked him out, I'm happy he's arrested. It's kind of messed up that we should turn himself in. No, you should have gone and found him. He was a miscreant, and of course he's crying. I'm gonna go to jail because I was defending against a race, defending against a racist person. No, you won't. The guy was on the ground sitting down, not bothering you, and you just came from behind and punched him in the head and knocked him out. You, sir, are a coward. Just like also the guy in Seattle who had a Chaz chop, what you want to call it. Once the Chaz chop got taken down, he was seen crying, "Oh, I don't want to go to jail." Oh, you walk around with your gun and being all thug, but then when push came to shove, you became a B. Let's keep it friendly. I always try to keep this family friendly as best as I can. Funny how that works out, right? So these white kids, they call I separate them. I have no super disagreement with a person who's liberal. I have no against a person who's conservative. Most cases, I am more conservative than liberal, but my thing is, but that's why I'm a libertarian. Anything that deals with my family and my finances, I'm conservative. Anything that deals with things that out of my control, which again I said I want to control my hands and feet, is liberal. I don't care. I don't care what you do. You could be. I have nothing against homosexuals. I have nothing against all that. You want, if you're a grown adult and you want to change your, you call it your gender, that's you. You, that's you. Your money, you do what you want to do. I don't like it when you get, I gotta pay for it. That's why I said I don't like. I'm against that. But I'm mostly centered in most in majority of things. But we are learning piece by piece now that the reason I've said it, and I'll keep on saying it, is people right now are getting sick and tired of the whole politics, left, right, stuff. Like I said, oh yeah, sorry. Let me explain. That's what I said. I call left the extreme and right. So the leftists are extreme and the right wings are right wings. I get that. Problem is though, the news media love to put some people who are kind of center like me and other people as called right wingers. I'm like, no, they are nut jobs on the right. No ifs, ands, or buts. But again, remember, 90% of media, 90% of news media in America vote Democrat. 97. Wow. I'm supposed to be shocked that it's not a biased place. Of course, it is biased, and I accept that. I understand that. That's why I get my news sources from different things. If you see my past videos, I've shown news sources from the left, the center, the right, CNN, ABC, all the stuff. Even though I don't like certain news channels, I still watch them because I want to know what's going on. The best way to learn what's going on is that every one of them has their spin, every one of them has their bias. It's up to, because we don't teach critical thinking no more, the best way if you want to get the true news is to listen to all of them and how should it distilled the main, basically the repeating point that shows you that's where the story is. Most stuff is mostly to the center, but we'll see how that works out. Which we don't teach our kids that, but again, I don't have kids. So anyway, let's get down to what I'm trying to say about the wisdom. Okay. And this is the status how we're going to put this. So we have another set of riots going off again. And I swear, these young kids just waiting for riots so they could do stuff. The same thing happened in Chicago where they did all that damage. Now we're doing it in Wisconsin, Skokie, Wisconsin. I do not speak, again, just let anybody know, I do not speak for all black people, and all black people do not, the black community, I should say, because that's how they always phrase it on the news. I don't speak for a black community. I speak for myself, and the black community don't speak for me. So I'm not a representative of black people in general. Nowhere close. But and I know people don't like it because what I'm about to say. But again, unlike other people, I don't want you to agree with me 100%. That's why it's called Project Open Mic. I have no problem you don't disagree. Some things that works for you, if I set advice, if something works for you, works for you. Something don't work for you, hey, I'm not angry about it. But so in Chicago, we had the big riots. Oh, cops shot a kid. Come to find out, again, come to find out, the kid was shooting at the cops, and the cops shot back, and he's not dead. And that was the ignition point to start rioting and looting and doing crazy stuff in Chicago. Am I surprised? No. Now we have this guy Jacob. He was, of course, he was shot 7 times in the back by the cops, and he might be paralyzed. All right, so that he might get paralyzed. Problem is though, everybody now just jumps and stuff quick, quick, quick. I mean, you go back to my videos, you can see why I've said this. I've said this before multiple times. If a news just came out, something that's major, give it about 48 hours. Let's see, simmer down or whatever. Again, I am not a fan of the DA, district attorney in Minnesota, who hold that tape against Joy Floyd. And again, let's be honest. If you guys have not seen the tape that was leaked out because the DA held it just for political things, which oh my god, it's so disingenuous. I'm sorry, but the other three cops around with Chauvin, I would not be. If you're in those cities, be prepared because they're gonna be more rioting. Because the three cops, they're gonna be acquitted. Chauvin might be acquitted because of course once again they overcharged him, and I've got a video about that. Same thing with Trayvon. I said don't overcharge it. You can't show intent. You can't because you can't prove intent. The way of these murder, all this stuff, you have to show intent, and if you can't prove it, then you're gonna sorry, you gotta. That's what it is. The laws. So it's gonna be crazy. You're gonna get another set of riots because of that when that happens. Just give your fair one up front. That's one. Two. The reason I say that because I see that the sports people and I wish the best for the sports guys. From your NBA and oh we don't want to just because what happened to that guy. Well, of course, footage and the body cams came out. Guys are convicted. He literally had a warrant for him. A felony warrant was on for him. The woman who called him because the story is the woman called him because he was a domestic abuse. In the video, he had a weapon, and also in a new video that just came out with a body cam and everything, he was fighting with the cops. And in the past, he already had shot at cops before, so he had a prior of shooting against cops. Does he need to get shot 7 times? No. That's the part I was killing. It's just like we said, oh, what happened to Floyd? Yes, he should have never. Chauvin should never put his knee in his neck. Of course, but let's look at facts. The problem is now people are taking a lot of emotions and stuff and not look at desensitizing the facts anymore, and that's dangerous. It's very very dangerous, which I'm going to show you tonight in tonight's show. I've said it once to say it again, and again, when people don't like it, but the guy who got I forgot, and my apologies for missing his name, but the in Texas who got shot in his apartment, who didn't do nothing. That is something we should protest about. Not many people was doing that, but the Black Lives Matter organization, just let me separate the difference. They were that was protest for criminals. I don't get it. And just because you're a criminal doesn't mean that you can't get protested, you can't get illegally hurt and shot and all that stuff. But it is ridiculous that we defending people who do horrible things. I can't do that. I cannot do that personally. If you want to do that, that's you. I can't personally do that. Life is life, and I understand that, but I can't do that because again, there's certain people who have killed my family members and kill friends, which I guess I'll be talking about tonight, and other stuff. Look, I don't wish death on people, but man, do I wish some bad things on certain people who have taken other people's lives unjustly, super unjustly. And that's my point. So I am not above anybody. I'm not I'm higher than thou person at all. But I just see the way that if a person who did get hurt and didn't do nothing, we should rally behind that person. No ifs, ands, but I'm right there with that. But even in the video, there were people saying, "Dude, stop! Dude, stop fighting! Dude, don't do this!" Oh, what I was funny to do was like, "Oh heck, here we go again!" Before he walked around to his vehicle, stop! He had. I got 3 cops pointing their gun at me. I'm not moving. I'd rather sell it in the court than whatever. He's not dead, but and then you have these leftist white kids who can look quickly to somebody just died over here. Let's go loot. Let's go riot, and they destroy stuff and they destroy the cities. There's a lot of videos out there of black people in these cities who these people come into their cities. It's called the Ferguson effect. Google it, find about it. There are people in New York. I've showed videos about this too in the past. Again, check it out. But the people in these cities, the people who are like 30 and above, they don't want these because they know what would happen. And I wish those people can pass down the wisdom to these young kids, the young black kids who don't know this, but mostly kick these white leftists out of your dang neighborhood. Some cities have done that. I give shout outs to people in Colorado when they were doing that. They kicked them out. Good. That's a good shot. Do that sometime. And also some in Wisconsin, I've done that too. And Minnesota. You see these little bastards coming to your place, do what you gotta do. All right. I'm happy that they come as a community and kick them out. And this is not just white, it's the black people coming together, like get out of our neighborhoods because these guys causing trouble. They know that if the cops are not there, it's gonna go into chaos. It's happening in Maryland, it's happening in Detroit, it's happening in Chicago, it's happening in San Francisco, Oklahoma, New York right now, Seattle, Portland, Minnesota. They've all happened. And when you destroy these things, companies, because they have people like, oh, they have gentrification. Okay, we'll say it's as bad as it is, and I'll give a specific video about that, theme about that. But the problem is that Macy's, all these companies, CBS, again, an example. This guy had, if they were not bringing CBS, Walmart, Rite Aid, I mean, all those pharmacies wasn't coming in this part of Brooklyn. They wasn't coming to this part of Brooklyn. This black guy was a doctor. He took his money. He made a pharmacy inside of Brooklyn. When the first set of stuff happened, what happened? They went in there and broke into the pharmacy. Now the people in that neighborhood ain't got a pharmacy. He's not going. He says he's not going to rebuild. I've showed videos of other places in Chicago and everything where people's like, "I've been here and I'm not going to rebuild it because they destroyed everything." So you lose stores, you lose job opportunities, you lose everything. And remember, these are the first people who will, like I said, because of these people tell you stuff. These are the one who would tell you they don't want to build nothing around us. Look at the history. I wouldn't build nothing around you guys. I'm being 100% honest. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but it's the truth. Because if something goes on, you want to break into my store? No. And I lose. And they have this program because of these celebrities program. Oh, you have insurance. Insurance does not cover everything. It does not. Quick rundown. Again, from the Better Business Bureau, 250 people will make 250 small business owners, 250,000 as a profit. Anybody below that, 45% of only 45% of black owners have insurance. That means 55 doesn't. Asians have the highest at 50 at 65. Okay, Asian has the highest. And then let's break it down even more. Those insurance companies they might only protect the building. They might not protect the product because the product might worth millions of dollars. That is something that a lot of people need to understand. They won't protect a millions of dollars. It's gone. So the building is easy. 300,000, something like that, no problem. But maybe you have, like I said, the product inside is worth 500,000. They rather pay the 300,000 to fix the building than the 500,000 with product. Just give you that. So these kids have it so messed up to think that's how it works. Insurance does not protect everything. It does not. So, right now, this is what I want to talk about with these governors and things and everything. Like I said, wisdom is gone. A lot of these, and if you have kids, I'm talking straight up. If you have children and you're gonna put them in college and stuff, again, I'll say this because I will be doing the same thing if I ever God ever graces me with children. Please be in your child's life at school. Watch what your child is doing at school because the schools now have been this Common Core thing and all the other stuff that elementary school should all be about ABCs, one through threes, arithmetic, reading, writing. But now they're trying to teach your kids sex deviancy at in elementary school. It has no purpose in it at all. So and they have kicked it up into college and do some crazy stuff. I there's this person named Dr. Gutierrez. I forgot the first name. I was listening to her in an interview, and oh my goodness, She is, of course, a tenured professor who has power, so she can't get fired. And she was talking about how this is the theories these people push. She says math is white supremacist. She's a leftist, like I said, white supremacy. So they asked a question because because she said if you learn math, you are basically being if you're a person of color, whatever that is. But if you're a person, a minority, and you learn math, you are being suppressed by white supremacists. I'm like, what? Who comes up with these crazy theories? It's ridiculous. But then, so they asked her a question because the whole, again, 2 plus 2 equals 4 nonsense. So she says 2 plus 2 doesn't always equal 4. And so a person asked a question, thanks to the journalist for doing that. I asked a question to her. So how can you prove that? And she state, quote, 2 apples plus 2 oranges doesn't equal 4 apples, unquote. I have something called LBC, and I it's called loss of brain cells. And trust me, when I listened to that the first time, I was like, what the heck? No, 2 apples plus 2 oranges does not equal 4 apples, but it equals 4 fruits, but it equals 4 things. Technically, she's right, but that's not how we do it. That's a person who teaches getting rid of logic. That's the problem. And they're teaching this to your kids. Two discs and 2 bottles of water, yeah, doesn't equals 4 discs. You're right, ma'am. But if I said there's 2 things plus 2 things equals 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Jeez. Jeez. I'm telling you, they're they're doing some crazy things. I'm telling you right now. That's why I talked about the book of Orwell, 1984, the Orwell, because they know how to do double talk or double think or change the words. Phobia never meant being hatred, but they changed the words now to make hatred. Okay, and I hit you with the whole homophobia and all that other stuff. I have never, and I know you have never seen a person, if they seen a person who's homosexual, and just, you what? No, never have seen that. Irrational fear. I've seen a person who hates vertigo and seen what happened to them. I've seen a person who's scared, who is arachnophobic, and seen what happened to them. So let's watch these people how to change words. Right now, this year, in this craziness we have, and they changed the Merriam-Webster and Oxford have changed racism to mean racism. The word is defined itself. I don't know how that works. It shouldn't work. By their rules, it shouldn't work, but because they want to feel a certain way, they doing it. That is ridiculous. Oh my goodness. This is just so with that, I want to show you what I'm talking about. I've shown you this before. But let me show it to you again. Okay? I've shown this before, but I'll help you out again on this. And I've said it once, I'll say it again. They love to put they lie straight to your face. Straight to your face. Straight to your face. Fiery, but mostly peaceful protesters after police shooting. Okay, I'll 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 be just. Yeah, there were a little peaceful protests, and there was a lot of people doing horrible stuff as the fires behind them. Remember, remember this lovely clip that I played before.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not. It is not, generally speaking, unruly. But fires have been started, and there's a crowd that is.
I know my ears did not deceive me. Did you hear what he said? It's a protest. Wow.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not. It is not, generally speaking, unruly. But fires have been started.
That building behind you, sir, is on fire, sir. How those two things double speak. Like I said, double speak. Craziness. Just craziness. Peaceful protest. All right, peaceful protest. As I called it as a seat. I know people don't like it, but sorry, that's what it is. All right. You got to be careful what the certain words, and careful what people say. That's why on Facebook, as much as I is now, and I shout out to people on Facebook, and I apologize. I don't really post stuff through Facebook as much anymore of like words and everything, like doing a post and stuff, because sometimes people take it out of context. So I rather do the videos so you can see, and you'll say, "Oh well, you didn't know." Rewind the video, you see what I was saying. That's how I do it. So you have that. Then you have to be careful how they put certain things away. Okay. California. We're gonna be getting into that. California is a weird state. And when I mean a weird state, I mean a horrible state. I'm not talking about they provide a lot of food, they provide a technical. I get that. I'm not talking about that or the people to a degree. I'm talking about the government, which is crappy. That if you watch the side chat again, episode 5, where we talked about Gavin Newsom, who is the governor of California. He said that he would take a pay cut while he tell everybody else to take a pay cut for the government. 2 months later, he has not taken a 10% pay cut. When people who asked him, who are Democrats, asked him why you didn't pay cut, it was an administration error. Sure. Okay. Now he says you can't go to church, you can't do a lot of things, and I'm going to show you again the craziness. You can't go to everything. All right. You can't do these. These are the governors who have the power. The president doesn't have the power to shut down a state. The governors do. And I always say this too: local governors, local politicians screw you way over than the federal. They have time. The federal will do that, but I'm seriously, local governors will screw you right in front of your face without you seeing it. With you seeing it, I'm sorry, and y'all people just go along with it. So while Newsom told everybody, and I showed you go to that video that I side chat. Well, he showed everybody out there that you can't open up your stores, your restaurants, everything, blah blah blah. But his vineyard been open. So rules for thee, not for me. So his winery's open, but your stores and your stores, your business, everything is shut down. Funny how that works, don't it? Well, here's another thing. And that's why a lot of people say, oh, if the things that happen in California should go towards, is when that happens in California, it should happen in the country. That's why I don't want that. They've been ruled for the longest time by the Dems, and those people are crazy. One rule party is not good, and that state is corrupt as hell. Because let me help you out with something. I'm gonna bring up somebody name, and this is gonna show you not only craziness, but again, simple research to find out how crazy things are. All right. Take a good look at this little let's call him this pencil little person. Mm. His name is Scott Wiener. Scott Wiener tries to salvage bill to fix sex offenders list inequity towards gay people. Okay. I'll say it again. I'll state this: whenever you hear any politician, left or right, come up with these great, I look at the bills. They give this the CARES Act, this whatever act, all the lovely. Give your grandma $2,000. When you go in there, you see how if you read the bill, it's mostly crap in there. Now this young fella here in 2018, he helped get a bill passed that if a person who has AIDS or HIV knowingly has it and give it to a person who doesn't know they have it, that is a misdemeanor. It took it down from a felony to a misdemeanor. And it passed. And I got a question. I don't think the person who wanted that think the same way. Okay? That is almost ending somebody's life. And it was kind of messed up. But he let that he passed the bill went and he got it passed. So if somebody give you basically a disease that could kill you, and then you willingly know that they had the disease and they give it to you, they ain't gonna go to jail. You could have been done dead or whatever, but they didn't want to go to jail. Mm-mm. That's not craziness how that passed. So let's continue. Now, in this bill, he's trying to revive a legislation, and it's a flashpoint because of what this guy has done. This is the local news, San Francisco Chronicles. See, he's talking about I'm getting death threats and everything. Yeah, I'm not a fan of giving anybody death threats. Okay, nobody. I don't care. Don't do it. I condemn it. That's horrible to do that because it's not needed. But the problem is this bill that he's passing, which is the SB 145, is an appalling bill. It's an appalling bill. Wiener SB 145 could create a priority to by giving judges discretion over sex offenders registration in all cases involve voluntary intercourse between teenagers ages 14 to 70s who cannot legally consent and adults who are less than 10 years old. You seen it on the screen? You read along with me. California's sex offender registry continues to draw that distinction and incorrectly an outdated and leftover distinction that somehow all sex is worse than vaginal sex. Wiener says. Now, what you read right there was not to the question the person asked them. And I like how the San Francisco Chronicle twisted that, but again, it is what it is. I get it. Here's what's killed me though. This is what perked up my ears. The measure is backed by the Equality of California, the LGBTQ rights organization, as a group representing district attorney and police chiefs. Many law enforcement agents says California's sex offenders database with about 100,000 registered sex offenders has become too large to fulfill its purpose of tracking potential predators. Okay. Now, I would say if you like, you certain bills, that's not our fault. We set it up that, you know what, if you did a heinous thing, that we know that's what you are, so we know that you should not be around schools or around children and all that stuff. It's not our fault. The person's fault, but kind of weird that it's getting too large to fulfill the purpose of tracking potential predators. That's your job. So so what we're gonna do, we're gonna make it less so the police don't do their job, or these people are crazy. They have previously supported other legislation to allow people convicted of less serious crimes to cycle off this list. Okay, I just told you what he did. He turned something that I would think me and you logically would think is a bad thing, that somebody would give you disease knowingly. They turned that into a misdemeanor, which is a lesser crime. So when they want to so their list is being that. I don't like that, because they're changing the rules. And then we find out later on, when these people do horrible things, they destroy stuff and they destroy people's lives. But let's go to the bill itself. California legislation information. The bill is, and again, it's so funny how the name just feels so weird. Scott Wiener, really? Really, sir? Anyway, existing law and sex offender registration act requires the person convicted of one of certain crimes as specified to register with the law enforcement as a sex offender while residing in California, or attending school or work in California as specified. A willing failure to register as required by the act is a misdemeanor or felony, depending on the underlying offense. This bill will exempt from mandatory registration from the act of the person convicted certain offenses involving minors if the person is not more than 10 years older than the minor, and if that offense is only required by the person to register. So a 14-year-old who basically got, I don't know, rape or something, is all right if the guy is 23? What is this nonsense? Technically speaking, if there's fathers out there, I think they have an answer to that. You do that to their kids. Yeah, they don't care if you're 10 years into 10 years older than a minor. It's a minor. You should, and that shouldn't even be a part of that nonsense right there. Oh my God, these people are sick in their brain. These are sick people. Trying to pass this off. This is crazy. But should I be shocked? No, I shouldn't. I should not be shocked at all. It's one of the reasons I don't. Just weird. Just weird. But let's go down this rabbit hole even furthermore, shall we? Oh Lord. Okay, I'll play you an audio of. Give me a second here. Hopefully, you guys should listen to this. No, we already know a lot of people's fake and phony. I'm kind of showing my hand here. If you want to say that, I am going to say that, but there's a reason why I'm not doing this. So there are a lot of double speak. Every politician does it. I'm gonna play a clip of Kamala Harris double speaking, and I like how they do that. Again, I don't think. You know what? I'll just play. Let me just play.
Do you believe that Americans should have the right to vote at age 16?
I'm really interested in having that conversation. I
Really?
can tell you that. I think that there is no question that if we are looking at what is going on in our country, we are putting more responsibilities on people at a younger age. And the larger number of people that we can involve in the electoral process, I think the more robust it would be. If we mold and shape and direct someone to become a productive adult. What's the other thing we know about this population? And it's a specific phase of life. Remember, age is more than a chronological fact. What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid.
Double speak, but hey. Now, I want to play this for you because I'm happy that some last week's video I talked about a person. Again, I'm not gonna call the person out, but this person, because she wants her privacy, and I respect that. I would love if she ever comes on the show and talk about this. Hope she does. But this is I want to give you that, people. I'm happy that it got re-brought up in the news. This is a friend of mine, but I just want to let you hear the account and just listen to this.
A lot of attention.
Yeah, I know. As Deborah writes, as someone who covered her as San Francisco prosecutor and California attorney general, I'd say more apt.
So I'm just as a reference. This is basically talking about Kamala Harris when she was a district attorney.
As someone who covered her as San Francisco prosecutor and California attorney general, I'd say a more apt description is progressive opportunist. And then she mentions the two big controversies. She was a big supporter of San Francisco's sanctuary city policies in the 80s and 90s. And she's been hardcore saying no cooperation between local law enforcement and federals, including getting really dangerous rapists and murderers off the streets. Just wants a high wall between those two, law enforcement bodies, which is just sickening. And Deborah name checks several criminals and awful crimes and victims protected by Harris. In fact, she tells the story of Edwin Ramos, who in 2003 assaulted a man, was convicted. San Francisco did not notify immigration authorities, even though he was illegal. City law enforcement also did not contact federal immigration officials after Ramos was convicted for trying to rob a pregnant woman and her brother, a felony. Harris did not prosecute Ramos, by then a twice convicted felon, after he was stopped by police in a car without plates and illegally tinted windows, and one of those fleeing tried to ditch a gun, later tied to a double murder. Still didn't prosecute him, did not alert authorities, and then finally his career came to its proper culmination when he murdered a father and his two sons.
Which I personally know the person. That's the story I talked about last week. My friend was the wife of that you just heard. That's the only way to stop this guy. This murderous, this dude who was a piece of crap and is in jail. Because like I've told a story. Like I said, she lost her husband and two kids because of that. And that's just a sad story of its own. And I would never thought that would have happened to her. I never thought it would happen to her, but it did. 3 felonies. I thought it's supposed to be the whole 3 strikes, you go to jail, whatever. But no. That's why I have changed my, and I'm going to talk about videos about this too, about illegal immigration, because basically it was 2 illegal immigrants that killed my cousin in cold blood. Just, not only him, killed 5 other people. For nothing. For nothing. I just wanted to play that so you can have also that. I'm happy that people know about these sickos. And I'm at the point right now where I say, if you want to come to America illegally, I'm not against illegal. The people who came illegally because of what's going on in their country, I get it. Become a citizen, do what you have, follow the right ways to get it, whatever. But if you're a criminal and you cause crime like I just played, if you cause crime like that, no, don't stop them and send them back to the country. No, you want to be a citizen, go to jail for life. Literally, that's what he's got now. 3 felonies before he took my friend's 2 older sons and her husband. Ridiculous. I can tell you right now how my mind is going. And there's my bias. I'm not gonna deny it. I can't vote for somebody like that. I can't. Just being 100% honest. That had to see the brother and sister, because they had 4 kids. When you see that, that was heartbroken. Again, and the cops in a situation to tell her, oh, because of the whole sanctuary city bull crap. Oh, we should not worry about. Don't worry. This should not. I hope this does not negatively reflect on immigrant community. You don't say, man, we're gonna get this horrible person off the streets. We're gonna find a. No, you tell my friend that that's the first thing you told her. Again, I'm not. Yeah, it's like I said, there are bad cops out there. That cop is a bad cop. By telling my friend that, that's ridiculous. That's disrespectful. Oh my goodness. But that's what you get. But let's go down the list even furthermore with some of these nonsense. Hmm. Right now, there's another crazy bill that California is trying to pass. The bill, again, be careful of what they name these bills. Go and look what these bills are named and see what's in there. I know a lot of people's like, all right, I'm doing it so you don't have to. If that's the case, if you guys are busy, I get it. You have kids, you have work. Sometimes you don't have work. You're trying to figure out how to put food on your table. I get that. I understand that. But these politicians, left and right, Republican and Democrat, have done some stuff, past crap in these things. Again, nothing more I hate more than a Republican and Democrat. Listen to this again, a bill they're trying to pass, and they're gonna try to push this to the whole all of America.
Be the San Francisco Chronicle I'm looking at. A group of state lawmakers yesterday proposed a first in the nation state wealth tax that would
First in the nation.
raise an estimated $7.5 billion for the general fund because taxes are so low in California. They get so little revenue that they need more.
What about that insane
That's
gas
sarcasm,
tax?
by the way, for the,
What
sarcasm.
about that insane gas tax that was supposed to pay for everything?
The one that goes up all the time?
That also first in the nation, biggest hike in the history of gasoline.
Right.
That was just, last year or the year before?
And remember, they said it once. And 2 things out of that clip I want you to understand. Whenever a politician say we're gonna put things in the general fund, that means that anybody could go in there and take the money. Be wary when people say the general fund. Because that money they could take, give it to their friends, their lobbyists, and pocket some of the money into their pockets themselves. Be careful of that. And $7.5 billion. California, $283 billion in debt. That ain't gonna do. That's a drop in the bucket, but they don't care. They pretend it's nonsense. But it's an attack first. But here, they say wealth tax, right? That's what they say, wealth tax. You know what? If you read the bill, you know what it means. And again, I'll play audio for you because it's not a wealth tax. And this is something where you got to be careful of how they sneak the words in. That's why I'm trying to tell you wisdom to show you that you have to listen how these people use the words. They're trying to change the definition of words or put in these things so that you don't catch on to their schemes.
Just came out, New York has seen a 120% increase in apartment vacancies. More than doubled the number of vacancies as people are fleeing America's big cities. And it's not just a temporary thing. It's not just about the vid. It's all sorts of things coming together, including the COVID. But I thought that was interesting, echoing what we were saying last hour.
Well, California, we talked about this last week. First time anybody's ever thought about doing this anywhere in the United States. Actually taxing your savings.
Right.
If they feel like you've got too much.
Right.
And it's going to apply the way it was written to residents who have left the state within the last 10 years.
Oh, boy.
So if you left now, sorry, you're not even close to in time. You needed to leave 11 years ago.
Boy, tax attorneys are going to be making a buck. Are you kidding me?
I have no idea
how that work.
I have no idea if that's constitutional or not, or how that
Probably
works.
it's not.
But that never stops anything in California. Wow.
The
that
idea
is just
being
outrageous.
that, well, you've got this much in your 401k and your savings and your stocks. You clearly have more money than you need. You probably did something wrong to end up with that. So we're going to tax it at this rate.
Yeah. But the Wall Street Journal has an editorial about the coming urban exodus, and you're seeing it more and more. Chicago's had an enormous outflow of population for reasons that are self-evident. San Francisco, L.A., and I got to believe Seattle is next, and probably Portland, although the authorities there are loath to admit it. People thinking, all right, this has gotten completely out of hand. And we did that story on Friday about California's proposed savings tax. They call it a wealth tax, of course, because to be successful is evil and proof that you're a bad person. But I ran into a number of people in real life who'd heard about the savings tax on our show and said the same thing. That's it. I'm leaving. And the next 10 years going to be...
Well, obviously, whoever wrote this or the people writing this trying to get it through realize that'll be the reaction. That's why they've got to do the goes back 10 years thing.
Yeah, I would love... we need to reach out to a tax attorney. I got to figure out how enforceable that is. If that's enforceable, I mean, that's just an obscenity. Isn't that like the end of federalism?
So, as I play that clip, I wanted to let you all know, okay, it's called the wealth tax. When you look into it, it's called a savings tax if you have savings. So I have 401k, I have IRAs, I have a savings account. And because they can't be taxed until it comes out, they want to tax you because you have it. Okay. See, and I guarantee you, these same politicians going to make a loophole, which they all do. That's why when people talk about President Donald Trump's taxes, they're going to create a loophole for them and their friends. But me, you, the regular person, no, we're going to get taxed like crazy. And the reason I play that whole clip because of that. People are, when you tax the rich, because they always say, let's tax the rich, let's tax the rich, let's tax the rich. When you here's the thing that the rich could do, and France found out the hard way, and other states that say with Denmark, everything found out the way too. Rich people have the power to move. Poor people don't. So when that happens, the taxes fall on the poor people. But the poor people vote because they think, it's not going to affect me. Well, when as New York is learning now, and others and these states that he talked about, once the rich people who got influence, and the people who have the convenience to move, like I did, like I moved from one part of the state to another part of the state because of nonsense, and a piece of it was taxes, most of it was because of the violence and everything. Because of that, yeah, I could do that. Most people can't. That's where you got to be careful about when you see these people do this. Now, I want to give you a great example of that, too. Bernie Sanders. Yeah, I know him. Again, remember, back in 2016, Bernie Sanders, remember, he used to say, we got to tax the millionaires and billionaires. All right? 2020, we got to tax the billionaires. Oh, Bernie, wait, what happened to the millionaires? Well, because I became a millionaire. These guys have no moral scruples at all. So because you call a millionaire, again, go back and listen to all 2020, 2019. When Bernie Sanders don't say millionaire no more. Like in 2016, he said millionaire. When he became a millionaire, his net worth is $2.8 million dollars. When he became a millionaire, and I don't begrudge him from being a millionaire, but funny how that line changed. Funny. But let's look at this idea that Bernie Sanders came up with, shall we? Bernie Sanders put up this right here on, let me get it on the screen. There you go. There you go. Senator Sanders proposed a one-time tax that would cost Jeff Bezos $42.8 billion and Musk $27.5 billion. Bernie Sanders of Vermont, Elbrick and L. Markey from Massachusetts, Christine Gillibrand, another fake person from New York, on Thursday introduced the Mike Billionaires Pay Act. That's where these people come with these names, which would tax tech top leaders, tens of billions of dollars in wealth made during the pandemic. And pandemic. Okay, let me put this way. Say again, network. I don't know how you're going to tax the network, how situation, because again, that's buildings and everything else. How that where people always say that is ridiculous. Is so if you become a good person, Cardi B, you were talking about being rich. Right, you're not a billionaire, but I'm just saying that's how they do. Well, Jay-Z and them is that, but they don't. They have their situation. The Make a Billion Pay Act would impose a one-time 60% tax on wealthy gains made by billionaires March 1820 to January 1, 2021. The funds will be used to pay out-of-pocket healthcare expenses for all Americans for a year. Okay? I'm going to help you out with something. Right? As I said before, tech leaders and other billionaires are forced to hand over billions of dollars in wealth, which again I don't understand. You can sell most of their wealth are wrapped up into stocks and and houses and everything. That's what net worth is. But again, I'll digress. Again, during the coronavirus pandemic, the new bill introduced by Senator Bernie Sanders, blah blah blah, the Make a Billion Billionaires Pay Act would impose a one-time 60% tax on wealth gains made by billionaires March 18 to 2020. Already, funds will be used to pay out-of-pocket healthcare expenses for all Americans for a year. They won't, as August 5th bill would tax $731 billion in wealth accumulated by 46 billionaires since March 18, according to the press release. If passed, the bill would tax billionaires' wealth accumulation. That's why I said it's weird how they do that through the year. However, under the bill, the tech and other business titans would have seen their wealth shot during the pandemic, which again was because of the government. This is why you don't want to give the government that much power. Because again, you might have a store or something. Your little store got shut down. Oh, we don't want that. But then Walmart, Amazon, all these stuff have lobbyists, and they bribed the politicians, Sanders as well, all of them into, hey, let us open because we have food, we need to still do stuff, we're online, we don't have to meet with people. Yeah, all that nonsense. So the big people who have that, yeah. At Amazon, Walmart, for example, both seen their stock grow as Americans increasingly rely on their services during the stay-at-home orders imposed by the government during the pandemic. And Bernie did went into more than this and said we should. Basically, what happened is he spun this. The original bill that he put, again, that's we got to read the damn bill, was to say let's do that so we can, pay for all the stuff like he's stating. I want to just get a little help here, right? If if you take the ten, top 10, you take all the money, right? All the billions of dollars, if you could turn it into tangible cash, all the $1 billion, it comes out to 702 billion dollars. Okay? It comes out to that. This, that, we have a debt. Before President Trump took over office, we had $21 trillion in debt. Now, because of the pandemic, with the $9 trillion that we just added, which I'm not a fan that the president did that, plus the Democrats and everybody else. I'm not a fan of that. Now we're up to $30 trillion. All right? That ain't gonna do nothing. One. Two. We're just as of 2019, so you could see that. Forbes, right? You take the 400 people in America who has that, it comes up to, on the list, take all their money, put it up, 2019, the 400 list comes up to $2.96 trillion. That's a drop in the bucket because government spends freaking crazy. And then they come with these crazy ideas that, well, we got to raise the tax here. We got to do this here. We got to pay this here. And then they raise the taxes. That's why I'm for a flat tax. That's why I'm like, you know what? No, we need to limit government. That's why I'm a libertarian. That's why I'm against that. Because they talk a big talk. But we just added $9 trillion to the debt deposit. Technically speaking, I think we should basically give that bill to freaking China since they're the one who gave us the daggone virus. In my opinion, if that's where it should be. But I'll digress. Stop the spending. Stop the crazy spending. That's what would help a lot. Again, we got the tax. We're gonna tax, but stop the spending. We're giving money to people who just, and that's why I laugh when I see these politicians in Asheville and also in Durham, and also in California as well, talk about we should give poor people $500. And what would that do? Well, they would have $500. Just like I had a problem against Andrew Yang's $1,000 a month UBI. That's not gonna. Here's the problem: one, it's gonna cause mass inflation. Two, the problem with majority of poor people. I know this is gonna sound harsh. The problem with majority of poor people is the mindset. You give them that, they don't know how to save. We don't teach kids how to save. We don't teach them about economics. We don't teach them about all this stuff that we need to be teaching them. Pew Research, go check it out. Pew Research. 90% of people who win the lotto within 7 years are back being broke. 97%. That's crazy. Because they never know how to handle money. It's a mindset. Giving people money doesn't solve it. And that's what all these politicians always go, well, we need to put more money, more money, more money, more money. Yeah, and we don't change nothing. That's the problem. That's why I don't like. I was like I said, I was going to talk about certain things tonight, but I'm gonna push it to next week. The review of the RNC and the DNC. But it's just the bureaucracies that these people make. It's just ridiculous. It's disgusting, really. It really is. But uh, let's move on to another crazy thing that's going on. As we know, the virus has done horrible things to a lot of people. And again, I am not a part of that. I'm in the middle, basically. When I go to, literally last Sunday, I went to Sam's Club. I literally got close to the store and I was like, oh crap, I forgot my mask. You know what? I drove home and I put my mask on. I came back, put my mask on. Yeah, a lot of people's like, "Oh, the mask doesn't do stuff," and I get that. I understand. If my thing has always been this: if we could put the mask on and open back the daggone economy, because here's the reality. Sad as it is, people. Here's the 401, the reality, the true real raw deal. This virus ain't going nowhere. We have to get herd immunity or do something. It's not gonna go away. If it's the air, like I say, it's atomized. It's in the air no matter what we do. Because Joe Biden said everybody needs to put a mask on for the next 3 months. And if he becomes president, we're going to a mandatory mask if you go outside in the next 3 months. It's not going to stop it. So when people travel and come back in, it's an atomized virus, just like the flu, just like the common cold. It's a coronavirus. That's what it is. Not getting rid of it. Protect yourself the best as you can, though. That's on you. I don't like how people say, well, let's look to the government for help. That's why I always laugh when I see these leftists, these Democrats saying about, oh, we need the government to help a lot of stuff. But right now, you don't like the current president in the office, which, again, I get that. You don't like him. But then you want to give them the power. That's why I never understand this dynamic. His videos on the channel talked about that. Barack Obama hated stuff that Bush did. When he became president, he took he took what Bush did and times it 100 because that's how it works for some reason. Then Trump getting into office, he's taken it to a next level. Don't limit their powers. I don't want to give the president that much power. Oh, like let's give them all the powers so they could do what they want. Yeah, they're not going to be a Republican president forever. They're going to be Democrats in there, and those who are like, oh, we're going to give all the power to the Democrats. It ain't going to be a Democratic president in there either. It's going to go back and forth. Right now with this election, there's something going on crazy and insidious. And Barack Obama President Barack Obama said it at John Lewis's thing when he said we need to get rid of the filibuster. And here's the funny part. President Trump agrees with him. That is one thing I disagree with both of them. I don't want that. I do not want that. The nuclear deal is basically giving the simple majority in the Senate. The Congress has that, but in the Senate is a 60% vote. We need to keep it that way because if you do, then the country really be going down the crapper. Because you could say free healthcare, whatever that would be, which is a lie. There's no such thing as that. If it's a Democratic Party, and if people get sick and tired of it and go Republican, then the Republican can void that and put something. We don't need that. I don't agree with President Trump, and I don't agree with President Obama. We do not need to get rid of the filibuster. And funny enough, I laughed when President Obama said that because it's old. It's a part of the Jim Crow laws. You mean the same law the same laws that the Democrats put in back then, so we wouldn't get so the black people back in those days didn't get reparations and their rights. Funny how history works, huh? So when it was convenient for the Democrats back in those days, we put the filibuster so the Democrats wouldn't get, so the slaves would not get reparations and they wouldn't get it right. That's why they call it Jim Crow laws, which was horrible. Now we want to get rid of it because we can't get our way now. Oh, please. Man, people are full of nonsense. They don't want that. That's a bad idea. Bad idea. People always say, oh, well, it's a democracy. No, the United States is a republic. It's not a democracy. And Mr. Churchill said it correctly, and take his advice. Speak to the common person for 5 minutes. You'll see why we don't need pure democracy. As I said earlier in the show, talking about this, Professor Gutierrez saying that 2 plus 2 would not equal 5 all the time. And with her, the logic that she put up was 2 apples plus 2 oranges ain't gonna equal 4 apples. Yeah, but nobody does it like that. 8 equals 4 fruits. And you didn't, that's numbers. That's objective. 2 plus 2 equals. You gotta be careful of what these crazy people are asking to buy. That's why I'm doing this show, to help people see certain things. Again, because you're busy, you have your lives. I'm childless, so I have more time than you. So hey, I'm just bringing what you need to know. But again, I'm against the crazy right wing nut jobs about, oh man, the mask is, blah, blah, blah. What are you arguing with the door clerk for? They're doing their job. Just put on a damn mask, okay? And then again, we know that if I have my thing is like, okay, if that's open, to open back up the economy, because the problem is with the economy, there's a lot more people dying with the economy closed than what this virus would ever have done. But the news media is bad, that's for sure, and people have been listening to all this nonsense. This virus ain't going nowhere. It's gonna be here until whoever's listening is, whatever. It's gonna be down. It's gonna be, of course, not played up as much because the H1N1, when H1N1 came up, oh, then it's gone down until something else happened. The Zika virus, oh yeah, there's a story about that nonsense. Oh, good grief, I forgot about that. That President Obama and security, Florida. I feel for you guys. I don't even know if we'll find. Let me see if we can find that story. I'm gonna try to see if we can find that story quickly before I keep on going. Cause that is on its own is crazy. When people are like, oh, well, President Trump with his ban and his ban on this and his ban on that. Okay. Funny, nobody talks about his ban when what do you call it? When he banned people from South America and Central America because of the Zika virus. No, nobody want to talk about that story. This is just ridiculous. Let me bring this up on the screen. This story. This is why you need to have a fear. And I'm not talking about fear like scared, a fear of meaning respect. There's some scientists out there that, good grief, they will cause trouble. And I do mean the trouble of things. Let's take a look at this nonsense with you. Florida released genetically modified mosquitoes to detract blast of Jurassic. Basically, detractors blast Jurassic Park experiment. It's designed because of the whole COVID. Local authorities Tuesday finally approved the release of 750 million genetically modified mosquitoes in the Florida Keys for a 2-year period starting in 2020, with the hope to prevent diseases such as Zika virus, but has faced a blowback in comparison to the movie like they just stated. Monroe County Mosquito Control signed off on the proposal that they had already won the state's federal approval. It will be the first genetically modified mosquitoes we release in the U.S. Why do we keep on trying to think we're God? I don't get it. With all the urgent crisis facing our state, our nation, and the state, the COVID pandemic, racial injustice, climate, that administration has used tax dollars and government resources for this experiment. Jason Hayter, policy director of the International Center of Technology Assessment, Center of Food Safety and Administration. Yeah, the mosquitoes under control has given the final permission needed. Would be possible to go. We don't know because the EPA unlawfully refused to seize any analyzed environmental risk. Now, without further review risk, and the experiment can proceed. Ugh. Florida Key Mosquito Control District consists of plan as a way to restrict the breeding. I don't know how the flip you could do that if you left it in open air. How you could stop that, I don't get it. Type mosquitoes said to spread the dengue and Zika and other diseases. while showing resistance to pesticides. The project was received approval from the EPA back in May. Released mosquitoes engineered by British company Oxitec. These are the same people who did this in Brazil, and this was done. Basically, this was done because a lot of people don't notice this. This was done underneath the Obama administration. Just give you that, but still made no difference. But just like in France, we have that stupid kaleidoscope in the mountain to kind of try to figure out. They're trying to say the Big Bang theory is what created the world. Okay, I don't know, I don't care. But the problem is though, they say there's a small chance to create a black hole. I don't want a black hole on the planet. How about we don't do that, you guys? How about we don't do that, huh? Human beings will destroy us. That's all I was saying. It really is. The COVID came from scientists in China. So yeah, that's a good idea. Oh my goodness. What is going on with these people? Just ridiculous. Speaking of that, let's just finish the rest. Wrap this. Let's wrap this crazy show up tonight. So let me go and give me a second here. Again, one man show. One man show. Let me get the other clip ready to go. Again, I don't like how people. Yeah, let's look for again. You don't like the government, but then you want the government in full charge, but you don't like the government, and you want them in charge of doing crazy stuff. So here's what they. Oh my goodness.
Mask mandate of all. The Department of Natural Resources, the DNR, has told employees working remotely from home that they have to wear a mask while on a Zoom call because apparently they're worried that the coronavirus may spread through the webcams. They sent an email out to all employees reminding them that the governor had now mandated masks throughout the state when people leave home, but added, quote, also, wear your mask even if you are home to participate in virtual meetings that involve being seen, such as on Zoom or other video conferencing platforms. I'm sorry that I have to keep pointing this out, but...
And this is from the Milwaukee Journey Sentinel. Again, that's their local. Let me see here, so you know that. Give me a second. Oops. That's the local news, and they're saying basically that if you're gonna go out there, as you see me right now, I should have a mask on because I'm in my own house by myself. I should still wear a mask on for protecting who? Why? Why should we do that? Oh my goodness. These people are nuts. These people are crazy. And they went, which they should have done. I'm just gonna let the news play about they did the test about these certain masks. So I said, protect yourself as best as you can. It's gonna be around forever. It just is.
testing various different types of masks to analyze their effectiveness. And wouldn't you be surprised what they found? The CDC is now admitting that N95 masks with the exhaust valve and other masks with the exhaust valve, which is a large portion of the masks out there people are wearing, do not prevent the spread of the coronavirus. Bandanas do virtually nothing, according to the study, and it turns out that those fashionable neck gaiters that everybody loves may actually make things worse because they break the water droplets that people exhale into smaller droplets, and then they spread even further than if you weren't even wearing one. Yes, even the Washington Post admits, quote, wearing a neck gaiter may be worse than no mask at all. So it may not be much longer before we see people walking around wearing one of these, their own personal spacesuit. But since celebrities know
I'm gonna, because because I am not, like I said, I'm not a celebrity. One thing about celebrities, I'm happy about with this pandemic. They found out they're really full of crap. Really, they are. But going back to California, show insane California is.
San Diego City Councilwoman Jen Campbell wants people arrested for not wearing a mask if they're walking along the beach.
And remember, the mayor of California of Los Angeles said was going to arrest people because you should be on the if you're on the dry sand, that's against the law. If you're on wet sand, you're okay. I got a question. How the hell you get to the wet sand without walking through the dry sand? I don't understand that, but no, I understand it. It's just they don't they it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just crazy.
County has a rule, no more than 10 can get together, whether it's in your house, whether it's out here in a park, wherever it is. And by God, that is now the law. And therefore, the county sheriff should be here arresting people.
Local politicians.
Who aren't wearing masks, who aren't distancing,
There's a lot of people around you, you know, ma'am.
and who are coming together too strong. Believe me, I have, I have heard my constituents. I
You're surrounded by a bunch of people saying this.
understand what you're going through. This is the worst virus in the history of medicine.
No, it ain't.
Some of you don't believe it, but it's true.
Meanwhile, Dr.
No, it ain't. If you're 16 years older, be careful. Like I said, again, 92% of the people who have passed away from this virus have been that age because of respiratory and everything. And again, there are people out there who have COVIDities. Let's be honest. Protect yourself, no matter what it is. Still protect yourself. But jeez, they really do think that you're stupid. I don't think you're stupid. I think you should do the best to protect yourself. Wear a mask. I wear a mask just because if I gotta go out and do stuff, all right, I know the chance of me doing that is that. That's why, again, if you have, like a friend of mine has lupus, or another person who has, if you have COVIDities, be careful. Put on the mask. We have to do whatever. I'm not against it, but the reality of it is still 0.3% people passed away from this thing. And another thing that came when people are like, oh, the spikes go up. Okay, again, you see this stuff for the sports and everything, when people are like, oh, the sports is like, oh, this got a thing. Okay, have anybody passed away from it, from those things? No. There was a baseball team because a guy had to deal with Lou Gehrig's disease. Yeah, he should be careful. You have a disease that gonna make it even worse coming with your lungs and everything. I go with that. Anyway, and I like how Joe Biden said the president doesn't listen to his what do you call it, to his an attack at him saying, oh, he doesn't listen to the experts. Okay, Fauci might be top of that, but he has contradicted himself many times as well too. Not saying it's a bad thing because you learn stuff. I get that, but don't think we're stupid, please. Well, I know I know I'm not the smartest person in the world. That's for dang sure. But again, that simple sense helps me out.
Dr. Fauci, who has recommended that businesses close and people not go to church, can't bring himself to admit that the Black Lives Matter mass gatherings are spreading the virus.
That's another thing. I've showed videos about that, which is stupid. You can't what? Wait. Going to church spread the disease. Going to all these things spread the disease. But the Black Lives, the protests we're seeing doesn't. Where people are some people wearing masks. And we just showed you that the Gators don't do it as much. It does too.
Should we limit the protesting?
I'm not sure what you mean. How do we say limit the protesting?
Should government limit the protesting?
I don't think that's relevant to.
The answer to that question is no, we should not limit the protesting. But when he said, I'm not, that's not relative. Yes, it's relative because it's spreading the virus. The government should not, and again, the government should not limit protests because that's in the Constitution. No. But you can't say it doesn't spread the virus.
Wow, I mean, what's next? Is the liberal media industrial complex going to start claiming that Black Lives Matter is actually helping to slow the spread?
Yep.
Oh, wait, what's this? NBC News reports that the Black Lives Matter protests have not led to COVID-19 spikes, and it may be due to people staying home.
And there's the same people who said, oh, this affected more minorities than anything. Oh, Lord.
In George Orwell's 1984, doublethink was described as simultaneously accepting two mutually contradictory beliefs as true. And there's no more perfect example than this headline, claiming simultaneously that the thousands of Black Lives Matter protesters gathering in the streets are not spreading the coronavirus because they're staying at home.
Which is true. And I always laugh at that again. Black Lives Matter with these people that, now this is a peaceful protest. I'm not knocking this at all. What you see on the screen, okay? I'm not knocking this. But the ones where the most violent and all this stuff is, you see more whites than blacks. And again, that's why I said the white leftist part. That's what I'm pointing out. Just making sure you know that. All right. But let's go into the last controversy that's bubbled up because it's oh my god, because of the stupidity. I hope people teach their kids simple sense. That's my hope. I really do. I really do. All right, tonight's last topic is the stupid postal thing that's going on. Jeez. Why? Why? All right, let's go through it. The postal controversy, which is dumb.
United States postal worker removing this old, ugly, graffiti-covered mailbox and then loading it into the back of a truck along with several others. Then came this photo, which was retweeted over 82,000 times, showing dozens of old, rusty mailboxes.
There's a reason why I don't. Twitter is just what it is, but I digress.
Piled up outside of a nondescript building in an industrial park. This photo was taken in Wisconsin, says the person who posted it, and it's happening right before our very eyes. They're sabotaging the United States Postal Service as part of their plan to steal the election.
What is...
Trump administration is facing accusations of intentionally crippling the U.S. Postal Service to interfere with the upcoming election.
A lot of people are concerned that it looks like boxes are being removed ahead of the November election.
How many mailboxes were removed in the exact same time period last year compared to the last 30 days? Where are the mail sorting machines? What did you replace them with? Are they being replaced?
This is nothing but a naked power grab by this presidency to make sure that he can't be voted out of office.
I am deeply, deeply concerned about Trump's effort to undermine American democracy by defunding the Postal Service.
Luckily, there
He did not defund the Postal Service. Funny enough, because you guys wanted $25 billion.
are still some journalists out there, like this man, Gary He, who did some investigating and found out that the photo was taken at the Hartford Finishing Company that powder coats and refurbishes old mailboxes. He posted this thread on Twitter explaining his findings and that he did what journalists are supposed to do before reporting on something. He called the Hartford Finishing Company, and they confirmed that they have a government contract in order to refurbish the mailboxes. Post offices across the country are releasing statements trying to explain to paranoid Democrats that because the boxes are outside 24/7 in all weather conditions, they tend to start rusting over time and need to be replaced. The Postal Service is also trying to explain to Democrats that because of email, over the last 25 years, the amount of snail mail that people actually send has been declining. And it doesn't make any sense to send a postman, a postal worker, driving all over the city to 150 different stops when nobody's putting letters in those boxes. So some of the boxes, I guess, are being removed and have been getting removed for decades. The Postmaster General testified virtually on Friday in front of the Senate Homeland Security Committee to try to assure the Democrats that there is no conspiracy.
This is crazy. And there's an answer to this as well too. I'll tell you the answer, which is just, oh my goodness. You have the little quip from President Obama. And a lot of people, I want to play this because I've heard it from the right and the left. And for people who doesn't understand how the postals, again, I'll talk about the video why the Postal Service is losing billions of dollars. There's a reason. And again, it was the Republicans. It was Bush. Knowing as that is, but I'll talk about that in another video. But I just want to, let's get to this.
If you think about it, UPS and FedEx are doing just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Right? No, they are. I mean, it's the post office that's always having problems.
But
yeah, and when you was president, you didn't fix nothing either. 1, 2. Try posting letters through UPS. It's very expensive, and also UPS don't go everywhere, or FedEx. They don't go everywhere. Everybody always think they don't. There's certain places where only the post office, because of how the Pony Express came into the postal service and everything, how all that worked, they go to a lot of rural areas that UPS, FedEx, DHL don't go. And here's the funny part. A lot of the DHS, UPS, and FedEx uses the Postal Service. If they don't go to the area, your packages, if you have a package, goes to the Postal Service so they could deliver it because they don't have no satellite office or anything in those certain areas. Just telling you the truth. And as we said before, as Mark Park, the voice you heard just pointed out, a lot of people don't, a lot of people use emails and stuff, a lot of snail mail, except for the only thing I go to my post box is basically for bills. That's basically it. I'll be honest, bills, flyer, basically advertisement. That's it. That's really, that comes to my thing, bills and advertisement. And of course, the packages, of course, that makes sense. I'm not saying that part, but I'm talking about like majority, right? So because we have a little bit, over the years, people have used emails and everything for everything, then the postal services load has become lesser and lesser and lesser while the daggone, again, pensions got increased. President Bush, bastard. Anyway, so let's remember that, because we're gonna listen to Miss AOC. she has a smart idea on how to fix the problem.
has come up with what she believes is the solution. People just need to have a pen pal.
Hello, everyone. I have been thinking about ways to help you help the post office, and I think I've got an idea, and I'm
Oh, really?
interested in hearing your thoughts. So, one of
Okay.
the best ways to support the post office
Mm-hmm.
is to buy stamps. What do you all think? Would you guys be down and excited if I set up a national progressive pen pal program?
What?
Do all the work of connecting you to somebody else. We would offer maybe some conversation prompts or postcard prompts, and even like a printable postcard format. You just send it out. Would you guys be down? Do you like that idea?
Yeah.
Government. This is one of the reasons I don't like government. Okay, so I'm gonna do a pen pal when I could just call them on the phone. Let me see. I could call them on the phone, or I could text them, or I could email them. 3 things that I would do that, but I'll go and get and buy stamps. You are correct. Stamps is a way to do that. That's why I do have stamps. And the last time I bought stamps is a long, long time ago. Why? Because I bought a lot of forever stamps. Sorry. I do still mail stuff out. Miss AOC, you're correct. But you know what? I paid for those things way cheaper and got forever stamps.
Yes, because everybody buying a 50-cent stamp to send
50 cents. I ain't paying no 50 cents on a stamp. Thank goodness.
their pen pal a letter is really going to make a difference. And if you think that's genius, Congressman Peter DeFrazio up in Oregon decided to chain himself to a few mailboxes so that President Trump wouldn't take them.
They're not getting this one.
Oh my
This is not a
God.
parody, by the way. This man really is a member of Congress, and he really did this. Thankfully, pop star Taylor Swift is on the case too, encouraging people to request a ballot early and vote early too. Of course, Democrats don't care that people's dogs have been receiving voter registration forms. And cats too. In some cases, cats that aren't even alive anymore. But if you start posting on social media,
I already done did a video about the whole nonsense of because they've said, oh, there's no voter fraud. Please, I've debunked that 2 videos ago. Check out Project Open Mic episode 7, and I've debunked that. Federal judge, basically was a federal judge guilty of voter fraud. Commissioners in New Jersey, voter fraud. California, North Carolina, on both sides, the Republican and Democrat, voter fraud. There is that. And the thing that killed me is because I asked, what was it? I was talking to a person. They were like, they already done gave me, I've already gotten, they already done sent 2 absentee things for me. I'm like, nah, I'm going to go in and vote personal. Oh, you don't have to. No, I'm going to go in and vote personally. Okay. I have the time. I could do it. I'm going to go in there and pass my ballot. And in the video that I showed about that, that's exactly what the people said. Thank God. Again, for those who don't understand, let me see if we could find that little. I'll find it and play it. I've shown that part. Let me see. You know what? No. You know what? Let's go to again. You go to Project Open Mic again, like I said, on YouTube. So you can see what I'm talking about. And play that what do you call it? That beautiful bean footage. Because it is literally news. I want to play you what I again. And the answer to the question too is if they take it up the mailboxes you saw there and everything. Why don't you go to the buildings? If that's important, go to the buildings and drop off your votes. Because you literally will go to the post office, literally, and put the stuff in the post office. Just saying. But let me show you again. This is Project Open Mic, episode 7. This. Let me set it back up. Listen, take a listen to this. Local news.
If you know how to mail a letter, you already know how to mail in your vote. How you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. But how long might it take for that vote to actually arrive and be counted? Oh, you're welcome. Have a good afternoon. We decided to test it, sending 100 mock ballots simulating 100 voters from locations all across Philadelphia to a P.O. box we set up to represent a local election office. A couple days later, we mailed 100 more, using the same size envelopes and the same class of mail as real ballots here. To approximate the weight, we even folded mock votes into every one. In the following week, we checked our P.O. box for the results.
Mail pickup notice, there's more.
When we went to collect everything, though,
Nothing?
most of our votes seemed to be lost.
That's all I have back there right now. That's nothing. You're sure? You're totally sure? I believe you. All right, then. Have a good day. Okay, take care.
We had to ask for a manager
We're trying to do something about mailing ballots.
and explain ourselves before someone finally found our votes.
Okay, thank you.
1, 2. We soon discovered another problem: missorted mail. 2 pieces of it.
We got a birthday card from Mike to Ronnie. Have a sweet B-day. Get it? There's a B on top.
When the birthday greetings ended,
12, 13.
we found a bigger issue. 21% of our votes hadn't materialized after 4 days. And the batch we'd mailed a week prior, some of those were missing too.
So of our 100 ballots, 97 arrived, which sounds pretty good, unless you consider the fact that that means 3 people who tried to vote by mail in our mock election were in fact disenfranchised by mail.
In a close election, 3% could be pivotal, especially in what's expected to be a record year for mail-in voting.
We're going to see somewhere between probably 80 and 100 million voters receiving their ballot that way.
The Postal Service says voters should mail their return ballots at least 1 week prior to the due date, but nearly half of all states...
And let me point this out. This is before all this stupid stuff you saw is going on with all defunding the post office, all that crap. This was before that. Just giving you a baseline on this nonsense.
States still allow voters to request ballots less than a week before the election. So you can forgive the public
How that makes sense.
confused.
How long do you think the post office recommends?
About 3 days, 2 to 3 days.
They're saying at least a week.
A week?
They're saying at least a week for your vote.
I just don't trust the mail. That's true.
You don't trust the mail either?
Well, I just don't. I would like to give, especially during COVID, give them ample time to deliver it.
I don't trust it.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm scared that it might get lost in the mail. I just want to make sure that my vote is submitted. Like, I see that it's submitted, that it actually counts.
Amen, sister. I'm with you. That's why I'm going to gonna go and, vote in person. I want to trust as best as I can. But again, just to point out, remember, there are a lot, there's a lot of people, your Nancy Schumer, your Chuck Schumer's all I'm saying, but there's no voter fraud. Really? Again, this is way before this nonsense that's going on now about, the president is trying to defund. No, stop. Just stop. And he didn't defund nothing. I'll say it again. He didn't defund nothing. You guys want to put in $25 billion. $25 billion. For what? Well, this will make sure the votes go. If This was the problem before all this nonsense. Again, this is why I said politicians out. Let's go and throw more money at this. That's all the answer is. Throw more money, more money, more money. Taxes, 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 more money, more money, money. They never fix the issue. The major issue with the post office, why it's losing a lot of money, is again, and it's not what Barack Obama said early in the video, is because of the pensions. Again, I'll talk about that in another day, another video. Oh my goodness, this craziness we have in this world. It's annoying. It's nonsense. It's crazy. But what can I say? We're not teaching, again. They're not teaching our kids to have simple sense or common sense as normally is. There are a lot of people out there who are very smart, who has book sense, but doesn't have any logical street stuff. We're just destroying ourselves. Beware of people who are trying to, again, on the left and on the Republicans and the Democrats. Be careful, both of them, because what they have done. They're trying to get you to think a man is a woman is a man, all this crazy nonsense, which is not. The numbers don't make 1 + 1 don't equal 2. It is just chaos. All right? Literal chaos. And with that, all I can say is, hey, comes to win. Again, for those who are going through the storms, hope you're secure. Be careful what's going on. Check on your family members if they're down there. Hope that they did evacuate it and they're hope they're doing well. That's all I can hope for. Those who are in those cities, who are in those riot cities, protect yourself as well too. Be careful. I've seen some crazy videos of people getting hit. These are people getting hit with bricks and stuff like that. It's crazy. It's nonsense. But again, all I can say to those who are parents, be in your kids' life at school. Find out what your schools are teaching your kids. Because there was also a story that came out that their teachers right now saying that they don't want their parents in the rooms with their kids where they're teaching them through the Zoom calls. No, I want to know what the hell you're teaching my kids. If I can't be in a room when you're teaching my kid, I have a problem. And what my question is, what are you teaching my kid? But with that said, this is the end of another show. Hope you guys can join us tomorrow for another side chat with me and Trip. Let's see what's talking about that. Again, you can catch us always on Project Open Mic on YouTube, as you see down and right there, Project Open Mic and YouTube. And if you want to contact us again, you can get Project Open Mic t3@gmail.com. Project Open Mic on Twitter, you could DM, or Project Open Mic on Instagram. With that said, thank you, Temper FM, Facebook, and of course, YouTube. Sorry for that. Tomorrow's Friday. Hope it's a payday for those who want it. Hope we have a good day. Have a good weekend. If those who don't join us for the side chat, if you guys don't join us for the side chat, we'll see you next week again, Thursday, between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. Again, I'm a one-man show. Again, please, if you'd like to like this video, comment, share, subscribe on YouTube. Help us to get this podcast to more places. And again, I have no problem talking to people. I don't want you to agree with me 100% because that's something I am not for. But let's have a conversation, a true conversation about these topics. Again, with that said, hope you guys have a good night, have a good weekend. And for those who normally catch us tomorrow again with me and Trip, and maybe some other people if we can, we'll see. For the side chat where we talk about different topics. And then next week we'll go back to the review of the RNC and the DNC. So thank you guys. Have a good night. Remember, evil comes in all shapes, size, color, race, sex, genders. And also, people are stupid, individuals smart. Please be that smart individual. This is Take or Project Open Mic. Hope y'all have a good night. Peace out. And thank you.